do investors actually tell founders what tech to use? Like, did you ever tell anybody use GraphQL instead of REST or something like that? Why do you think that stigma even exists, especially in the developer community? Like, to the best of my ability, I feel like sometimes you guys might ask about results in terms of sales, and then everybody's like, oh shit, VCs are telling us what to do. Is it because of that, or what do you think the logic behind that is?
I think there are a lot of stigmas around VCs. But most importantly, as a generalist VC, I don't think we have even the right to interfere with, especially with the product itself. Of course, as you said, like we hear a lot of things, right? I mean, as you know, like every day I see at least like five different companies. I talk to 5 different companies, so I need to get to know their market, get to know their competition, and they're like so idiosyncratic market conditions that I need to know about. So whenever I see these markets and read content, listen to the content, I see a lot of things. So of course, like I share them with the founders, and then I kind of tell them like you can use this, you can use that, and your competitors are doing this or that. But never I can suggest anything or interfere with anything, especially regarding product development, of course. And I don't have the knowledge. Sometimes people are surprised when I say I know coding, but I'm not a developer, so I'm not sure if I even can do that. But I've seen this stigma like a lot. I think not only for the dev tool space, but also like in general, there's this fear that investors will interfere like too much, and I think unfortunately that's the case with a lot of investors. Especially in emerging markets, I also saw these kind of cases. But I think that the gist of it is that you need to find the right investor, even if you would like them to interfere, like which is kind of okay if you like them to interfere with you, which is, I mean, for me not okay. But I think in general, if you like some advisors as an investor, also you can do that. But for this, or in general, you need to find the right investor to become your partner in the journey, because this is like a marriage, right? I mean, they'll stay in your life from like 5 to 10 years at least. So yeah.
I would just like to add something. She is part of kind of thinking. I don't think that investors are suggesting things. I think they're trying to learn things, and then they're exploring different information from different sources. And that could seem as suggestion, but it's more like probing why would you think that one is better than another. I think it's a learning process, which is normal for them. And then they become desensitized to asking questions, which is absolutely normal. And then it comes across as suggesting something. I don't think it's suggesting. I think it's more.
Yeah. By the way, I do this not only to our portfolio companies, but also to the founders that I know.
I think it's misunderstood. It's misunderstood as suggestion.
Do you misunderstand when I share content? I will not if you take it like that.
I'm the guy asking the question. So whatever you say, I ask the question. So it's on me if how I take it. But I did have like a couple of interesting suggestions that I got, not from you, was actually US-based investors, especially let's say SF related. I think it was like early 2022. They were like, "You're using PHP. Like, are you sure that's the right tool?" I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "Nobody I know uses it. Like, none of our portfolio companies are building in PHP. How will you hire? How will you do this? How will you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I don't think it should matter." So suffice to say, I don't talk to them, not because of that. Not because of that, but I think that, like I said, there is a misconception in some cases, but it wasn't because of PHP, the language. It was actually because they were trying, the point they were trying to make, look, I don't know anybody who does this, and we have a pretty big pool of talent that does JavaScript, that does Java, that does something else. So maybe that was kind of the suggestion, but look, I think a lot of people here, and there are people here that I even spoke to, like I think it comes down to you as a founder as well. Like, it's up to you to dissect what advice is good advice, what advice is bad advice. I don't think you guys ever have bad intentions. It's all about, hey, we think this is happening, or we think this might be important, or we think this, or we think that. I've never come across anybody who said you have to do this. Like, none of our VCs ever came to us and told me you have to do this, or you have to. Like 2 years ago, our seed investor, they basically said, Vedran, observability is going to be a thing. I didn't even know about the word, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And we asked a couple of developers, they're like, what do you mean observability? You mean monitoring? I'm like, exactly, nobody knows what observability means. Turns out observability is becoming a very popular thing.
Yes,
so
we have two observability companies.
there you go. It's one of those things, and she was right, and I told her that many times, and now we're doing, a lot of observability.